Dungeons of Hinterberg is an action RPG set in the picturesque Austrian Alps, where players explore dungeons, solve puzzles, and battle magical creatures. You play as Louisa, a law student on vacation who must traverse 25 unique dungeons using both magic and her sword to defeat enemies. The game also features a social element where players can interact with the locals to build relationships, which grants them perks for dungeon exploration. The blend of combat, exploration, and social simulation creates a rich experience. Warhammer 40,000 Speed Freaks is a free-to-play, multiplayer vehicular combat racing game set in the Warhammer 40K universe. Players join the ORK Cult of Speed, racing through chaotic maps with heavily armed vehicles like buggies, bikes, and tanks. The game focuses on team-based, class-driven gameplay where up to 16 players capture control points, race to the finish line, and engage in combat. There are two main modes, Death Rally and Kill Convoy, where players fight for supremacy using unique vehicles and weaponry. VLADiK BRUTAL is an intense first-person shooter, FPS, developed by a single individual under the banner of Narco Games. Set in a dystopian Eastern European environment, the game blends elements from classic FPS titles like Half-Life, Stalker, and Doom. Players assume the role of VLADiK, a lone prisoner tasked with exploring a mysterious area filled with mutated monsters and possessed soldiers. The game is known for its brutal combat, dismemberment mechanics, and challenging boss battles.
А вот я читал.
Nights at Freddy's Into the Pit is a new addition to the FNAF universe based on the first story from the Fazbear Frights book series. The game introduces a retro, side-scrolling 2D aesthetic focusing on the eerie atmosphere that fans of the franchise love. Players follow the character Oswald, who stumbles upon a time-traveling ball pit in an abandoned pizzeria. The game blends puzzle solving with survival horror elements as players explore time periods and attempt to evade the terrifying animatronics that haunt their journey. Once Human is a post-apocalyptic open-world survival game developed by Starry Studio, where players navigate a hostile world infected by an alien substance known as stardust. As a meta-human, you possess unique powers that help you survive in a landscape filled with mutated creatures called deviants. The game offers both PvE and PvP modes, allowing players to engage in combat, gather resources, and build bases. With a focus on survival mechanics, players need to manage hunger, thirst, and contamination while exploring vast biomes.
The smallest creatures show the greatest resilience. Wherever we remain standing, we stand together.
Black Myth Wukong is an action RPG inspired by the classic Chinese novel Journey to the West. You play as the Destined One, a warrior tasked with recovering 6 powerful relics to revive Sun Wukong, the legendary Monkey King. The game is set in a beautifully crafted world filled with mythical creatures and epic bosses, featuring intricate melee combat, spells, and transformations.
吃顿饱饭便善哉善哉。可我早就看穿了你们，满嘴的情怀大义，一心的世俗名利，唱什么命不由天，却不信自己才是天命之选。可悲的取经人呐！只要心中还有放不下的偶像，终有一天，他将化为修行路上无解的业障。
Fallout London is an expansive, fan-made M-mod for Fallout 4 that takes players to a post-apocalyptic version of London. This massive DLC-sized mod offers a fresh environment filled with British landmarks, factions, and lore. Players will explore 15 different boroughs of London, engage with new factions, and experience a grittier tone in the nuclear wasteland. The mod garnered significant attention for its impressive scale and immersive world building.
Most of all, Blighty is a shell of his former self. Botched together buildings, radiation-filled nightmares, hooligans, up for a bit of argy-bargy, or whatever the bloody hell those things in Thameshaven are, if you know what I mean. In fact, the closest semblance of structure we got is the daft and balmy boys over in Lambeth. Only they won't budge except for a cup of Rosie Lee.
These are dark times.
So in a nutshell, it's all a bit tom-tit these days. Listen, the whole of Blighty's up for grabs right now. Nobody's heard from Her Majesty for
Crime
it.
Scene Cleaner is a simulation game where players take on the role of a cleaner for the mob, tasked with sanitizing crime scenes by disposing of bodies and removing evidence. The game blends simulation, puzzle solving, and time management mechanics, with players needing to clean efficiently while avoiding law enforcement. It features realistic cleaning mechanics, ethical dilemmas, and story-driven missions. Castle. 2 is the sequel to the popular roguelike Lost Castle. This action-packed, beat-em-up roguelike allows players to explore the Dark Castle, either solo or in online co-op mode with up to 3 friends. The game introduces over 200 weapons and armors, each with unique skills. Players battle hordes of enemies and face powerful bosses in randomly generated dungeons. ensuring each playthrough is unique. Sins of a Solar Empire 2 is a real-time strategy game that blends 4X mechanics with intense space battles. Players can control one of 3 main factions, the Tech, Vasari, or Advent, each offering unique gameplay. The game introduces dynamic systems like orbiting planets, which change the battlefield in real time, and an influence-based minor faction system. With up to 10-player multiplayer and extensive modding capabilities, players can enjoy building empires and engaging in massive space battles.
This new form of guerrilla warfare would serve us well into years to come. Our economic and manufacturing systems will become more resilient, more flexible. We would become unparalleled in maintaining the essential supply lines required to fuel the war effort. And we would modernize our fleets to take advantage of newly discovered resources. But our enemies have not stood idle.
DEVIATOR is a side-scrolling Metroidvania featuring stunning hand-drawn 2D visuals and a challenging parry-based combat system. Players explore mysterious cities and wilderness, fighting strange creatures while uncovering the truth behind a chaotic world. The game's core mechanic revolves around precise parries to gain momentum and enter an enhanced state, boosting abilities. With treacherous levels, puzzles, and boss battles, the game immerses players in its dark, atmospheric world. Dungeonborne is a first-person PvPvE dungeon crawler set in a dark fantasy world where players explore dungeons, battle monsters, and compete with other players. Players must extract their loot before falling to the dungeon's dangers. Choose from classes like Fighter, Priest, or Pyromancer, each offering unique skills. The game also features crafting, item trading, and dynamic combat, offering a deep and immersive experience. Stormgate is an ambitious real-time strategy game developed by Frost Giant Studios, a team of veterans from Blizzard who worked on StarCraft and Warcraft. Set in a post-apocalyptic sci-fi world, players command mechs and other futuristic units to defend Earth from the infernal host. The game features competitive 1 versus 1 matches, co-op 3-player missions, and a story-driven campaign. Arena Breakout Infinite is a tactical extraction shooter emphasizing strategic combat in high-stakes environments. Players engage in intense firefights in the Dark Zone, using advanced weapon customization with over 600 mods. The game offers a realistic military experience with 360-degree spatial audio and real-time lighting, providing an immersive atmosphere. The game includes tactical decisions, fast-paced combat, and quality-of-life features like quick healing and a kill cam, making it accessible to a wide audience. World of Goo 2 is the long-awaited sequel to the original World of Goo, a physics-based puzzle game. Players use living goo balls to solve intricate puzzles by building structures, managing flowing goo, and even terraforming environments. The sequel introduces new goo types, expanded mechanics, and retains the humor and charm of the original. It offers multiple themed chapters and a satirical narrative reflecting on modern issues.